costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox, KFXL Weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln Hurricanes for today, seemingly sunny skies, and it will be windy. It's an afternoon high near 59. Tonight, clear skies with a light breeze, and a low around 35. And tomorrow, we'll see lots of sunshine with a light breeze, and an afternoon high near 60. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker from 93.7 The Ticket, and theticketfm.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela. They let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl, Jordan, with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. When it comes to gift giving, it's all about the wow factor. And let me tell you, nothing wows quite like jewelry. Whether it's a delicate necklace or a statement ring, jewelry makes the right statement. So if you want to knock her socks off, or anything else for that matter, skip the generic gifts and go straight for the bling. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Attention comedy fans, get ready for a night of non-stop laughs at the brand new Howler House Comedy Club. Brought to you by the team behind Kincaidor Brewing, Sideshow Spirits, and Beer House, this underground comedy experience is happening beneath Beer House in the heart of the Haymarket. Enjoy Jason Vest and Layla Ingalls from The Kill Tony Show, as well as Will C this Friday. Shows are at 6:30 and 9 p.m. Buy your tickets today at beerhousene.com for the brand new Howler House Comedy Club, opening this Friday at 8th and P.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Derek Pearson. Brought to you by Canopy Street Market.
Boom! In your face. 11 o'clock on a Wednesday. Going to do 2 hours for you today. 2 hours, two coaches from Husker Athletics. And I'm thrilled about it. Opportunity to get deep dive into some of the things that are happening in these programs and the people that are involved. Sartor Heyman text line is 402-464-5685. If you want to be a part of what we're doing, text in, hit us with a what's up. You can say, hey, coach, what's up, coach? Or what's up, DP? We'll answer to either of them. I promise you we'll get to it. If you have questions, opinions, or otherwise, you can follow on all of the live video streams, Facebook, YouTube, X, and Allo Channel 961. If you want to find out what's going on, the station got better looking. just now because we and it got tougher and it got smarter. We were supposed to have him yesterday, but he is a man of his word. Coach Mark Manning, head coach, Husker Wrestling. Coach, thank you for making time today. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, DP. Thanks for having us on and your understanding of time. And
the coach in me understands stuff happens. Stuff happens. And when one of your seniors needs you, you got to rally and show up for it. So I understand it. We had so much the interesting conversations yesterday that happened, and I was trying to figure out how to get into some of the dark corners of wrestling. But one of the things that happened at Purdue was a uniform violation. And I didn't, coach, like I went through, because I said, look, I've had 2 technicals and 2 write-ups ever as a coach in 30 some years. And both of them, I was like, okay, I got smarter. Okay. I got smarter. What's the protocol for it that one wrestler comes out in the block and red unitard? Okay, fine. The rest of the team had on the Nebraska script.
Yeah.
And they come out after the time and they go, hey, Nebraska was deducted a point because they had 2 different uniforms on. So, Coach, what's the protocol? Because I know you set up, like, especially for road meets, that stuff is prepared and handled. And then, but you also have teenagers and young men who are different from day to day.
Oh, yeah.
So what's the protocol? Who handles the uniforms? Who's responsible for uniforms?
Well, it falls on me. So, at the end of the day, I can say this guy, it doesn't matter, but it's about myself. So I should have had that, everyone on the right page, knowing they were going to wear the scripted Nebraska on the red singlet, and then Antrell grabbed his block in. So, hey, it is what it is. And
it was a great
mistake made, and
lesson learned.
Yeah, lesson learned, and delightful challenge. That's always that's part of our gig. You have some, through the years, I've had guys show up, go to the NCAA tournament. Coach, we get there, 8 hours later, I forgot my wrestling shoes, Coach. How do you forget your wrestling shoes? You're going to the national tournament, but kids do. And, that happened. And we just said, hey, okay, we take team point. Everyone else got scripted Nebraska on their singlet. So off we went, and it's okay. It's just lesson learned, and it happens.
It taught a lot of Nebraska fans that there's a rule that exists. And then it made them curious about the process, because it's like, if you've coached on a big platform and you're talking about a lot of uniforms and numbers and equipment that goes with you, like I'm fascinated by Husker football being able to pull that off with 85 different uniforms and all the things that have to happen and all the travel that goes along when you go on the road. So I'm always fascinated with that. How do you handle travel day organization? Because you're talking about meals, you're talking about medicines, you're talking about all the things that have to be structured. And I do want to tell you, your greatness was identified pretty early by the fact that you said, it's on me. That you orchestrate it, but you also have to trust and delegate.
Yeah.
But how do you handle this full? You're going to Evansville, Illinois for the Big Ten tournament. How many people go, right? Because you get the 10 wrestlers who are going.
Yep.
Coaches, staff, and then who else do you bring?
So we're going to bring our sports information gal, and also one of our social media people, Colin's going to go with us. And then we bring our coaches, our director of ops, Brandon Bradley, obviously all our coaches, and then we can bring 5 extra wrestlers. So that's really a development thing that they started, bringing extra guys, because you once you see it, you believe it a little bit more. And so, you can bring 5 extra guys. They could be a lot of redshirt freshmen, or maybe guys that earn their way of really, they're just really servant leaders and really help our guys a lot. So we pick out 5 guys. It's hard sometimes picking out only 5. But we'll pick out guys that can warm up with different guys and that can help them, get food back in them after a match. Because the Big Ten tournament's all about you weigh in 2 hours later, you'll wrestle first round, and then you'll wrestle quarterfinals, kind of leads into that. And then, it's off and running, and semifinals at night. And then, the next day is all the placement matches and the finals. So it's all about just, we've done it a long time. So Coach Schneider and I have been together a long time. So I've got him organized where I know how things should run. And then we just tell our director of ops, say, Brandon, this is what we do. This is how we meet at a certain time. And a lot of times we'll work out, like last week before we went to Purdue, we worked out on Friday and then took off. On Saturday, and we took off and got there, worked out that night. And then the next day woke up, did a little workout, go back, and then, 5:30 match live on BTN. And so you got to be, guys are dialed in, and they know, hey, they got to show up, they got to do this. And it's a disciplined sport, and you got to be disciplined with your time and how do you utilize it, because we're in a weight cutting sport. Seth Dorsey, for example, is my associate athletic director, and he traveled with us this week. And it's very unique. You're getting ready for competition, not only, but you have to get your weight down, right? So you have to get weight down. Weigh-ins are 2 hours before, so we get there an hour and a half before that. Go to the gym, get our weight down, work out, make sure they're down to weight, and then, ready to go. Get nutrition back in them, hydrate them back up a little bit. Weight cutting in college is not, it's more like weight management, but you still have to make the weight. So, it's not like people are cutting 20 pounds every week. It's right. That's when guys are out of their weight class, so there's still a weight limit element to it. But, you have to be disciplined in that approach, and it just makes you a more disciplined wrestler.
If I said to you that often you reach the fork in the road between nutrition for energy and then weight loss, weight cut, that seems to be the real teeter-totter for college wrestling coaches. They have to make that decision and go, listen, I don't want you to cut weight so drastically that you don't have any juice left in the tank, right? There's no point in sending you out there weak. And the 90 minutes in between your workout, weigh-in, and then when the matches actually happen, you don't want to go crazy pumping anything into the system. You have to be really specific about what you put in. So how do you handle that? I'm sure there are times where you just say, listen, we're going to go with somebody else. We're going to go with the backup because it's not safe for you. It's not good for them. Let's give them an opportunity. We think it's best for the team.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. Guys just, or they're not feeling well. It's week in and week out. You have to be. That's the mental aspect. You have to be tough mentally. And one, if you're cutting a lot of weight and then you go and get beat, and then the next week you have another tough match, and you say you lose again, and you're questioning yourself like, whoa, why am I doing this? Why am I sacrificing? When all my buddies that aren't on the wrestling team are going down to Chick-fil-A and
right.
Canes, and,
right.
and then going out for libations, and then you're like, wow. And then you have another tough match. You're wrestling ranked guys. So you have to really love what you do. And part of that is, you're in a weight cutting sport. You got to embrace doing it the right way. And you have to live around your weight class. That makes everything work smoother. And then coaches aren't losing their mind. And we're not having a heart attack before weigh-ins.
Well, that 24-hour chaos is trouble.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I've seen a lot. There's teams out there that we know that they don't cut their weight right, and you can beat them off the scale. And that's why some teams look energized and other teams don't. And so you have to, we have a great nutritional staff here that we really lean on and just get their expertise and allow them to talk to our guys a lot about what to do at what point and when to put what in. And, it's a science to it. That's why nutrition and sports psychology are really important, And so you got to put the right energy back in to be your best.
It seems to me that what you have set up and boundaried here at the University of Nebraska and this wrestling program is a lot of the things that separate the bottom third of Big Ten wrestling versus the top third. And that in recruiting folks who have some idea about weight management, about showing discipline in high school, that, hey, you can meet with, how often does it come up in recruiting that, hey, how are you cutting weight? What's your walk around versus what you weigh in, and how do you do it? I would think that choosing people who are willing to do that would be a big part of recruiting.
DP, absolutely. And you find out a lot about their character, because, it's easy to take shortcuts in weight loss. And so it's more about, you got to make the weight, you got to live at this weight class, you got to live around, 8 to 10 pounds, in the off season. And so you have to have disciplined kids, and you have to have guys that love the sport. And, it's just like anything, if you want to play in the NFL, you got to take care of your body. You got to take care of your nutrition, whether you're NBA player, whether you're Major League Baseball, you got to eat. You got to eat the right things. You got to take care of your body. And same thing in wrestling, our sport. If you want to be an Olympic champion or world champion or NCAA, you got to take care of your body. You got to eat well. Yes, there's sacrifices. Absolutely. You can't go, to Dunkin' Donuts every day and expect to win a national title and in a weight cutting sport. You got to be disciplined. And that's just part of our sport. And that's the tough element of wrestling too. There's a weight involved and you got to make it.
Yeah. I mean,
if you grow out of it, then you grow out of it. But some, it's funny. You mentioned about recruiting, sometimes, it's bizarre because parents are involved in recruiting. And you say, well, Johnny, he's 125. Well, he'll be 125, for the next 5 years. Okay. He hasn't shaven yet. His puberty hasn't happened,
right.
And you still think he's going to weigh 125 5 years from now? Probably not. He's gonna grow.
Yeah.
He's gonna mature. I've seen kids that are projected 125, they end up being 149 pounder, just as they grow. And some kids just stay small. Some kids, they get man muscles. It's like I was over at football last week. Seeing just how those guys' bodies change just in, maybe 6 months, And so same thing in wrestling, you got guys still growing, still filling out, I call it man muscle. They finally look like men, they get man muscles.
Well, you see the difference. Silas Allred is a great example.
Yeah.
Right. That you can go out and you will see different body types in play. And you go, wait a minute. There's certain programs that have a physical appearance presence. It just looks like, oh, you got grown-ups. But I also think that that's why we're so intrigued by this year's lineup and this year's roster, because you've got some young dudes who had we call it athletic arrogance. And your guys down there, I mean, there is a gauntlet that you've put together from 140, from Ridge up to Pinto to Allred that just look like they came out ready to do this, and it's a thing. So is that on purpose, or is that just simply they're willing to do the work because some have changed weight classes, some have moved along, some moved up, some moved down, and then you have guys who are willing to make those decisions and discipline?
Yeah, it's it's just part of them buying into being their best, and they understand that helps the team be the best.
Yeah.
And that's you knocked it out of the park there, DP. It's buy-in from them, and we got great human beings, great kids, and I can't tell you, Husker Nation, how proud that you guys should be of the guys on our team, because they have the work ethic like farmers, the discipline, and just really proud of how our guys conduct themselves and how well they take care of the little things throughout the year. And it's great to be coaching these guys and great to be part of their journey. And we're looking for more at Big Tens and Nationals. So it's March. It's what's important.
Yeah, I think I need to meet with the marketing people of NCAA wrestling, because its own version of March Madness should be profile.
Yeah.
Like, listen, Wrestling Wildness would be a full thing, right? Yeah. The craziness and chaos of that, especially at the Big Ten tournament, that you have at every weight class. If you look at the top 10 rankings nationally, it's Big Ten, 6 and 7 of the 10 spots.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that fans really appreciate, especially those folks outside of the circle, how incredible it is to have the number 7 125 in the country, who legitimately is an All-American and a real threat to win the Big Ten championship.
Yep.
How much competition and chaos he's going to have to go through to do it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's, some wrestling fans out there, the last 5 years I've known, they choose to either go to the Big Ten tournament or the national tournament, and they choose the Big Ten tournament because they know, hey, I'm going to see in the semifinals, I'm going to see maybe the semifinals at nationals,
100%.
The same guys, or in the finals, those same two guys might be in the finals.
Right.
So, we always say, if you can win a Big Ten title, you can win a national title. So, and, sometimes it doesn't play out that way. Sometimes, hey, I've seen guys finish 6th and they win the national titles 2 weeks later, just because they have a tough gauntlet, take a different mindset, a different draw. The NCAA wrestling tournament is a lot like 10 basketball tournaments.
Yeah.
You can wrap your mind out, because there's 10 weight classes, and it's like Caleb Smith went into the NCAA tournament last year. He was ranked 15th. He knocked off the number 2 guy second round, and away he went.
Yeah.
And so it's wild. It's fun.
And each wrestler, even with the season that they have within the Big Ten, in that moment in the tournament, it could be that this is the great come together, right? That all the preparation, all the work, all the struggles, all the lessons, all of that stuff happens, and then boom, Evanston, Illinois, it comes together, and they go, Coach, I got it.
Yeah, I got it figured out. Yeah.
Coach, I got it. And it's going to be – Mark Manning joins us here today. And, Coach, here's a part that when you talk about discipline and organization and culture, and I think calling Nebraska wrestling a program means that it is more about the long-term consistency rather than just the team. That this team is built on the great programs and rosters of past. I think a big part of it is this amazing coaching staff that you have, because they too live in discipline, which if you see them, again, your coaches look, if you need to throw a single at any of them, they could go get you some points. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, you got some dudes. How important is that to have a Snyder and a Turtle? Like, you've got
James Green,
right? Like, you've got a gang that travels with you for Nebraska wrestling.
Yeah, for sure. It's everything. You build a village. You need everyone, and I'm blessed to have a great staff and a great trainer and Tyler Wida. I mean, Travell and Brian and James, and then Brandon Bradley this year joins us as director of our ops. I got a great strength coach in John Pfeiffer, and Ron Luff helps us a lot with our nutritional aspect. So just, and then Seth Dorsey is our associate athletic director, helps us a lot. I mean, it's Matt Davidson. Those guys both are really, add a lot of input into our team, our program, what we're doing day to day, and they help out a lot. I mean, it's everyone that we have a gentleman that washes our wrestling room or cleans it out every day. That person's really important to our team. Really
Staph
important.
Infections.
Absolutely.
It's
And he
a big
cleans
deal.
up our locker room, our mats every day. And we can't thank him enough. This guy's, he's amazing. So, it's everyone. And I'm blessed to have a great staff, like you mentioned, DP. It's really good. A lot of knowledge, a lot of expertise. But more than that, it's just the love they bring for the guys on our team. And that's what I'm really, really proud of, just how these guys, our guys are, they're a fine, tight group. And it's that way because we have coaches that are bought in, that are helping them in every aspect of their life, not just wrestling.
Yeah, it shows up. I mean, to have coaches who have lived the life at the highest level of discipline, whether it, weight cuts, discipline in the arts that are required, all those things, and they're still living that way, it matters, and it makes it easier to recruit, but it also makes it easier to keep wrestlers in the program, because if you've got a James Green to go to, if you've got a Snyder to go to, if you've got a national champion, big guy to throw people around, Tervel, right? And I do want to say they're all great personalities, great men. That's on purpose. You cannot. I've talked to folks who want to wrestle at Nebraska, and they talk about it. That listen, they have guys that know. They know what it's like. They know what it takes, and they still live it, which is important.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what's special about this group, and special about this team. And like you mentioned, there's been a lot of good teams through our program over the years. This team's really special. Just has special human beings on it, and next year will be different, but there'll be a variety of different challenges, guys growing and maturing. But that's what's fun about coaching. Not every team's the same, and this team is just really focused and dialed in and want to get better each and every time out. And really excited to see where March takes us here.
It's going to be big. Before we get a break, from the text line, says, "What's up? I got a question for the coach." This is from Cubsky. Says, "Will the guys going to help wrestlers warm up? Will they have certain aspects of the wrestlers that their teammates are going to face? Does that play into how you pick who the five are?"
A little bit. We do a lot of that's a great question. We do a lot of our scouting kind of ahead of time, but we'll do some stuff like that if we know, it's the same in football or basketball or whatever. And, you bring in a different pitcher in baseball, we're going to face some different guys that maybe we didn't prepare for. And we have maybe in the consolations or in the wrestlebacks or going out the front even, it's someone does some unique thing. We can show them that. But it helps. But we try to just bring along the guys that are going to really maximize our guys' effort in competition. So, it's tough to choose five guys, but we kind of spread it out, smallest to biggest, and allow everyone to be able to have some kind of workout partner. And that element's really big.
We want to thank the folks from Stevens and Smith's for supporting Takedown Tuesdays. We want to thank the folks from Canopy Street Market, Dan Swanson, who was offered to make meals for the wrestling team if they ever need them to do that, and they make them fresh in-house. So you can literally go through the menu and get that done. But the folks at Canopy Street Market for handling this, and the folks from Tipsy Tina's who have offered to put together meal plans for your young men as well. Man, so
Tipsy Tina, that's our guys. That's music to their ears right there, boy.
They're gonna make it move. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, I do want to talk about the rankings and give Coach an opportunity to just rain praise on the 10 guys who have listen. to have 10 wrestlers all make the nation's top 25 as you're heading to the Big Ten, that is an accomplishment, and it's a big deal. We want to hear Mark Manning's elevator pitch on his 10 wrestlers that are going to go to Big Tens and how we think this thing plays out. It's one-on-one here on The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Husker fans, excited for some softball action at Bowlin Stadium this year, but can't commit to a full season ticket? They've got you covered. Introducing the On Deck Deal. Snag tickets to 5 Husker home games for as little as $30. This partial season lets you choose any 5 games, including one from the Maryland series. Whether you prefer general admission or reserve seating, packages start at just $30. Get your On Deck deal today at huskers.com/tickets.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up
But why?
because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Hey volleyballfans, this is Laura Dijkema, national player of the Netherlands and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, seemingly sunny skies. It will be windy. It's an afternoon high near 59. Tonight, clear skies with a light breeze and a low around 35. And tomorrow, we'll see lots of sunshine with a light breeze and an afternoon high near 60. I'm meteorologist Kyle Bucket from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Time for a new heating and cooling system? Get the options, brand, and efficiency that best fits your family and your home. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Ever wonder what it's like to work for a company that actually cares? At Lincoln Industries, they're revolutionizing local manufacturing while taking care of their most valuable asset, their people. When you join their team, you'll enjoy comprehensive health coverage, wellness initiatives that work around your life, and benefits that show they're serious about your future. Plus, you'll be a part of a proud manufacturing tradition right here in the community. Don't just take their word for it. Visit LincolnIndustries.com to see all their current opportunities and find out why their people love calling Lincoln Industries home.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
It takes hard work to make Nebraska the right place to raise a family, build a business, or grow a community. We're counting on working parents to make it happen, and they're counting on childcare professionals to have their backs. Employers and other contributors can earn up to $100,000 tax credit for strengthening childcare in our communities and state. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation, and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I love that we still have my pro wrestling music in for One-on-One, The Ultimate Warrior. I would love maybe one meet next year. We have, hey, Bach, what do you think if we had Coach Manning put on the Ultimate Warrior face paint and just run it like he leads the Huskers out with the face, like the Husker face paint?
I love it.
You're like Coach Osborne. You want to bring back tussle on the turf.
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. We were talking during the break. It's a thing, and I've talked about it on air, but I haven't talked to you about it. And I want to say thank you to you for what you did for me. It wasn't planned. I happened to be walking into Devaney as you walked by. You pulled me in, took me up to the locker room. You gave me my 30 seconds to yell at the guys and talk. And then I was going to get out of the way, right? Because it was just cool to be in the locker room. But then I was going to get out of the way, and you were like, nope. And you pulled me in, and I said, okay, at least I'll go to the back because they're doing the tunnel walk. First of all, I've been all over this country and in arenas and stadiums and done that sort of thing. I got goosebumps. I got goosebumps walking behind the team, and to feel that and see that and experience that. And then I asked the listeners whether that would be something they were interested in, because I think as a revenue stream for Husker wrestling, that's a thing that's sitting there in broad daylight, that you have fanatic fans who would love the opportunity to support Nebraska wrestling. And, we could do a thing. You know what? You raffle them off or auction them off. Folks get to walk the tunnel, and then maybe for their donation, they get a signed singlet or something, right? Or you could have a future Husker lead the team out with a flag, right?
Yeah.
And they're walking out next to Snyder or Green, right?
Yes.
Or another alumni that's in town, just happen to be there. And I know that there are sponsors who would subsidize that for you.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say thank you for allowing me to experience that. And it was so appreciative and so humbling to be in that space. And I wanted to be so respectful about it. But what you did for me, sir, I'm forever grateful.
No, DP,
forever grateful, man.
Well, one, a lot of our guys on our team, and they've been on the show and they loved it. I knew they would love it, and having you there and going through kind of our pre-match, talk, get them fired up, talk. But a lot of our guys are already fired up, ready to go. So it's just putting icing on the cake, but having you there and, seeing our team prayer and then marching out, getting them going down to the tunnel walk is an amazing experience that we started. And I'm so thankful for all the parents and the kids that just rallied around our team this year. That's it brings so much more energy and just recognition to our guys. When they come out for a match, they know, hey, this is a big deal. I'm wrestling for the Huskers, man. I'm wrestling for our team. I'm wrestling for Husker fans, and to feel it. And that was kind of the idea around it. Now let's build on it and I love those ideas. So
no, it'd
be great.
Well, I kind of jokingly, I often say, like, I'm giving away $1 million idea, but I know Husker Nation, and I know that when I mentioned that, there were people that were jumping on the text line saying, "Listen, here's how much I would pay," and it was a full range from 500 to 5,000 just to do that tunnel walk.
Yeah,
and just to be able to be a part of that, to experience it, and I'm going to say this to Bach so he understands it. Bach knows that I'm kind of a really good pregame hype speech guy. I was so afraid. I'm like, they better go out here and perform. If I'm going to say something, they better go kick tail. Because if I speak to them and then they go lay an egg, I'm going to never live that down in my head. And it was spectacular. Like, the ego involved was like, okay, what do you say? What do you say? But there's you have such an amazing group from bottom of the lineup to top of the lineup, from all the peripheral people on the staff, that they were warm and welcoming. And then another thing to praise you on, Nebraska wrestling does such an amazing job at their intermission, and these athletes will go wrestle. So the first 5 wrestlers will then come out and take pictures and sign autographs with the fans, which is remarkable business. It is such a statement of who Nebraska wrestling is and why there's always a packed house at Devaney. And then afterwards, I took pictures of the autograph session afterwards. And Bach, to tell you that 90 minutes after the meet was over, there was still a line. There was still a line of young people and adults who were just there to shake hands, take pictures, and your athletes do as good a job of anybody that I've been around at Husker Athletics of being available and accessible and warm and friendly to the fans. So kudos to the Husker Wrestling, because my goodness, you guys are special. Really neat. And our fan base is just growing and growing over the last number of years, but it was really special this year, and I don't see it changing moving forward. So only growing, and really grateful for that. Really grateful for all the kids and parents and fans that come to our matches. It's really great, and they got an investment in our team, and they're vested into seeing how these guys are going to do in March when it's most important, right? It's the pressure cooker, the Big Tens, and then the NCAA tournament. And we got a bunch of competitors. So it's all about, I told our team last week, courage tests your talent, and the more courageous you are as a man, the more your talent's going to be showing. There's nothing like seeing a talented person not perform, right? Talent without
courage,
we've
all
man.
seen that.
Talent without courage is
you got to have courage, and we talk about it all the time, and that's been a staple for us this year, and our guys have really bought into it. So
when we talk about national rankings, and there's several different things that happen for rankings, and you're either all the way for it, all the way against it, because it really can get in the way and it become a distraction. But for seedings, and I think seedings is the better phrase for Big Ten.
Yeah.
Right. Seedings, where a collective group of people. Now, do they go to coaches to get seeding, or do they go through media to determine seedings for the Big Ten tournament?
Oh my goodness. This has been a hot topic in the wrestling world.
Yeah.
It's done. The Big Ten conference is seeded by the coaches. The NCAA tournament bracket is seeded by a committee they need some work. Anyway, the Big Ten conference, it's about all 14 coaches rank all 14 guys at each weight class. And so it's there's a little bit of criteria, obviously head-to-head counts, but say, for instance, the hot topic is 149, Ridge Lovett, Shane Van Ness, and the kid from Iowa, Parco. They've all beat each other. So who's number one? right?
Mm-hmm.
And is it the number one ranked guy, or is it who should be seated number one at the Big Ten? So really, if they follow criteria, Ridge Lovett won the Big Ten tournament last year. He's the returning Big Ten champ. He should have criteria. Now, will they do that? I wouldn't, I'm
When
not.
do you know the rankings or the seedings?
Well, not till next Thursday.
Man, that's
next. Next,
insane.
I think Monday or Tuesday, they send the ballots out, and then you have to have them back like by Tuesday. They let us know Thursday, and then we kind of have a little joint seating meeting on Friday, and it's always, it's interesting. I try not to get worked up about these things anymore, but it is what it is, and whether you have to beat this guy or that, it's all the same. You got to beat someone good, and let's just go and do it. But seedings are important, and there is bias. And so when you leave it in people's hand and you don't create enough criteria, it's having a rule, and you can always slide in and be slippery and create some other side rule to your advantage. So, it's a shame that happens, but teams, individuals tend to try to, or they dodge you during the Big Ten season. Right.
I didn't know whether to bring that up.
Yeah. So you wrestle 8 duels and all of a sudden, hey, my guy's 6-0. We got 2 duels left, and it's Penn State and Nebraska. I think I'll just.
Hey man,
I'll just take.
Hey,
I'm a little sick.
My weight cuts not going well. I went through, and it is always a big part of it that when the number one wrestler in the weight class in the country doesn't take on a dude, and it happens, and we don't have to name names or programs, but it happened. Yep. That the number one was in the building and on the bench, and it affects, right? Because
it does. And the thing is that number one guy, he got beat by our guy last year. So that's real important. But it is what it is. You can't hide too long. And it's wrestling. You're gonna have to face them. If you want to be the best, you gotta beat the best guy. You have to show that you're the best guy, and there's no more dodging now. Come the Big Ten and nationals, you don't dodge anyone. And the same thing nationally. You get the same amount of points for the NCAA tournament seedings. You get the same amount of brownie points type of thing. Mm-hmm. If I win the Big Ten or if I win the MAC. If I win the Southern Conference, nothing against those conferences. Just the Big Ten's loaded. And like you mentioned, so you get the same amount of brownie points for winning the Big Ten as you do winning the SoCon.
I mean,
or winning the Ivy League. Nothing against those guys.
Right.
It's just everyone knows the Big Ten's, but you only get so much. 30% of that ranking is based on conference champ, and you only get 30%. You don't, Big Ten, you get 60%. You get the same amount as winning the Ivy League. So it's there's some disadvantage, but there again, you got to go and prove it, and you got to earn it on the mat.
Yeah, there's no fake wrestling.
No fake wrestling.
At Big Ten, man. It just doesn't happen. You're gonna get fouled. We'll throw it to break. Sam Stecker on the text line said, "You don't know non-competition coach intensity until you've been in a pre-tournament wrestling meeting." And I would think that just battling for your guys, to be heard and be considered, is a big part of the coaching. We'll go through it. Take a break. Come back. We'll go through the 10 guys that are going to go to Evanston, and then I'll ask the question because the importance of the Big Ten Conference tournament versus the national tournament that follows. And there's got to be some consideration of who you see, how you go through the Big Ten tournament, and then the recovery from Big Ten championships to national championships in Philly. Lots to talk about with Coach Manning here on The Ticket.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Husker fans, excited for some softball action at Bowling Stadium this year, but can't commit to a full season ticket? They've got you covered. Introducing the On Deck Deal. Snag tickets to 5 Husker home games for as little as $30. This partial season lets you choose any 5 games, including one from the Maryland series. Whether you prefer general admission or reserve seating, packages start at just $30. Get your On Deck deal today at huskers.com/tickets.
Time for a new heating and cooling system? Get the options, brand, and efficiency that best fits your family and your home. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Allow me to get a bit sappy. For women, jewelry isn't just a gift. It's a timeless symbol of love and appreciation. You have to get this right. No fleeting trends or gadgets will make the impact. Every time she wears it, every time she gets a compliment, you win. Trust me, guys. You'll get your money worth. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
It takes hard work to make Nebraska the right place to raise a family, build a business, or grow a community. We're counting on working parents to make it happen, and they're counting on childcare professionals to have their backs. Employers and other contributors can earn up to $100,000 tax credit for strengthening childcare in our communities and state. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey volleyball fans, this is Laura Dijkema, national player of the Netherlands and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
Attention comedy fans, get ready for a night of non-stop laughs at the brand new Howler House Comedy Club. Brought to you by the team behind Kincaid Brewing, Sideshow Spirits, and Beer House. This underground comedy experience is happening beneath Beer House in the heart of the Haymarket. Enjoy Jason Vest and Layla Ingalls from The Kill Tony Show, as well as Will C this Friday. Shows are at 6:30 and 9 p.m. Buy your tickets today at beerhousene.com for the brand new Howler House Comedy Club, opening this Friday at 8th and P.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Madsen's Bowling and Billiards just south of 48th and Holdridge.
You're listening to One on One with DP, sponsored by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Right?
Big shoulders.
Right? I'm glad Bach is here to get to witness. We try to explain the things that we like to do, that we try to do for Husker athletics.
That's amazing. It's amazing.
Right? That
think in the last 3 years.
The advancement on a show. I can't recall having the head coaches from two different Husker athletic programs back to back on the ticket. But that's kind of the ideal, because no matter how closely I follow Husker wrestling or athletics, you can break it down much more in detail and greater than I can. And these listeners, they get tired of hearing us guess what is going on when I can just ask.
Yeah.
And it makes so much more sense, and it allows folks to feel connected to it. From the tech Mark Christensen says, thanks, Coach. And DP Coach, thinking postseason, do you have a wish list for suggested rule changes to improve the sport? Sir?
Wow. Well, well, the big topic in college wrestling is what a takedown is and reaction time. And the problem with officials, they view things different, just like they do in basketball or football. You know, what's a takedown? Well, is it reaction time? What is reaction time? No one can answer that. But what I said to two of our officials Sunday, I mentioned a situation that happened a couple weeks ago. It looked like takedowns were happening and they didn't reward takedowns in certain matches. Anyway, in this certain big match, and I said, listen, in college wrestling, a pin is 1 second. High school, it's 2 seconds, right? No one has a problem with that. No one's saying, whoa, that guy's not pinned. He's right. Same thing, and should be in a takedown. Kids are rolling now, guys are rolling, and the guys are just more athletic than they were 30 years ago. There's a lot of good athletes. So sure, when a guy's a fighter, he is not going to give up a takedown easy unless you got both of his legs and he's got his knees squeezed together.
Yeah.
Everyone can tell, boy, that's control. What's control? Well, sometimes when guys' hands hit the mat and it's for a split second, well, that's a takedown. And kids are not getting rewarded for their aggressiveness. And so, I would change that. That's what I would change. Number one, if you get a pin in 1 second, it's called a pin. No one challenges it. Same thing with the takedown, because too many guys are rolling, flopping out of bounds. Oh, no control. And then the refs are, some people call it a takedown, some people don't. And that's really decides a lot of matches. So that's an element that we have to clean up. And the other thing I would do is just try to define stalling more. It's too subjective. It's too subjective. It maybe you can never make that happen. But the other thing I would like to see is maybe having more of a dual meet championship for a team.
Man, that's a great idea.
So teams are going to follow, fan bases are going to follow teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone gets the NCAA wrestling tournament. And sure, you want the Ridge Lovitz, you want the Brock Hardy, you want Jacob Van D, Antrell Taylor, Caleb Smith win a national title. But you got to have an individual tournament, but the national dual meet tournament, which they're bringing back next year, start of the year, should be at the end of the year. That should be the mega tournament that we all look into, because people love dual meets. And they're going to be upsets, and that's when teams can rise up, and that's when fan bases can get more and more involved. Trying to figure out, hey, this guy scored 4 points at the national tournament. This guy scored 18 points. This guy, I don't even follow it anymore. I just say, hey, the more our guys win, the higher our score is going to end up. But in a dual meet, hey, Nebraska beat Oklahoma State. Nebraska beat Oklahoma. Nebraska beat whatever.
It was a conversation that was had last week, and it was just that thing that it would be great, Nebraska and Virginia Tech one-on-one, just to kind of see how it really plays out in those spaces, because the rankings will matter along the way. Coach, it is spectacular to have you break this stuff down and to walk Husker fans through this thing that is Husker wrestling. It's going to be a big week in Evanston, Illinois. When do you take off?
Next Thursday night.
Next Thursday night. Big Ten Network, full coverage.
Yep.
Multiple matches at the same time.
Yep.
And a lot of Go Big Red chants.
Yep. Thanks a lot.
Husker Nation show up in Evanston. Don't go anywhere. Second hour, one-on-one. Oh, we're going to talk women's tennis here, and it's been long overdue. Hermione is in the building. Don't go anywhere. 93.7 The Ticket.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. When it comes to gift giving, it's all about the wow factor. And let me tell you, nothing wows quite like jewelry. Whether it's a delicate necklace or a statement ring, jewelry makes the right statement. So if you want to knock her socks off, or anything else for that matter, skip the generic gifts and go straight for the bling. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road. Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, seemingly sunny skies. It will be windy. It's an afternoon high near 59. Tonight, clear skies with a light breeze and a low around 35. And tomorrow, we'll see lots of sunshine with a light breeze and an afternoon high near 60. I'm meteorologist Kyle Bucket from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Derek Pearson, brought to you by Canopy Street Market.
Boom. Hour 2, 12 noon, Wednesday. It is going to be a smoke show. I'm excited. I'm thrilled to have this happen. You can text in, and you have been active in it, so thank you for doing that. Charter Heyman text line is 402-464-5685. If you want to be a part of what we're doing, and again, the live video streams, you can follow us on Allo, channel 961. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, X as well, and as well you should. Great mission was to have Husker athletes and coaches stop by the new location out of convenience to them, to the campus being close, so it's not so intrusive to have them come do it. But we've been talking about this for a minute. Nebraska women's tennis playing in one of the finer facilities in the country at Dillon, and I was amazed at how many people had not been to Dillon. So we've got to correct that. We've got to fix that. But Herman Dalmagro joins us. He's the head coach of Huskers women's tennis. Coach, thank you for doing this.
No, thank you for having me. I think this is a pleasure.
It's interesting to me that in a football-centric space, you have identified this thing and you have to kind of rebrand, reimagine Nebraska women's tennis.
To a point, I think they have some success. About 10, 12 years ago, they were really good, and I think it's trying to get back to that. I think we can. The landscape has changed a little bit. Women's tennis, is considered, in tennis in general, outdoor sport, good weather, fair weather, location, and we're trying to change that. Make it where Nebraska can be that destination.
You have a great outdoor facility, a great indoor facility.
Absolutely.
But as you said, climate certainly matters, especially for tennis, being able to work inside and out year round. How does that impact or affect your recruiting? Because maybe the type of player that maybe where they're from kind of plays into it. How does it impact recruiting for you?
It impacts big time. I think most players where they think about going professional, and they all think that they should be playing outside. But the reality is sometimes you have a lot of professional events, indoors, but the majority are more geared towards outdoors and in good locations. So I think that the mindset of you growing up playing tournaments or playing competitive, you always go to good locations, good weather to play those events. So you kind of associate the sport with being outdoors and sunny and good weather. So I think it matters because now we have to identify, athletes that want to come compete here, but also that they can play indoors and outdoors. We have before some players that cannot play indoors as much, but we play about half the season inside. So we'll have to make sure they can compete in both. Usually, the best players can adjust.
What's the parameter for the country in the Big Ten in deciding indoor versus outdoor? Is there
we have a rule, which is a weather rule. So we go, if it's 50 degrees and above, we have to play outside. 50 and below, we have to go indoors. And then the wind has to be 20. If it's above 20 miles per hour, you have to move indoors. And then if it's below 20, then you have to, stay outside. So it can be tricky. It's a big difference when you're playing outdoors with wind, and then you suddenly go indoors and no wind. It makes a big difference, but whatever happens, you have to make an adjustment. So
the Nebraska wind thing, I didn't quite understand until I moved here. This is a different wind than the rest of the Big Ten.
It is. it truly is. The thing is sometimes is the rule is the wind has to be the gust. They don't count the gust to win. So sometimes you could be 15, but gust of 30, and then you're feel like you're blowing over. So it's a little windy, and the gust makes a big difference. But the tennis balls are kind of light, so that's why they make that rule, because otherwise it just becomes unplayable.
It is fantastic to consider. We were talking about before we went live. We were talking about sticking my head in, and there are perceptions for high level women's tennis, and I was stunned by the power and explosiveness of your young ladies, even relative to your opponents. It has to be purposeful, right? Is that conditioning? Is that cardio? Is that weight training? Is that nutrition? What's happening that allows these women? I said this. I'm not afraid of most people in any athletic endeavor. I would not find myself on a tennis court with your young ladies because they would embarrass me.
I think it's all of the above. All the things you mentioned. I think it's a combination. We kind of work on being an explosive team. Try to hit through the core and try to be powerful. But you work on all those things and trying to have a balance. Between being I always say this as a coach. I want to have one of the most fitter teams out there, so we can, if we need to play for 3 hours, 4 hours, we can be there. So we work on that, but. Also, I think that they will try to take care on the weight room where they're stronger, but also they're quick and explosive, and we try to work on all of those, and the key is to kind of maximize all the resources we have and maximize their potential. Some are a little more powerful than others, but tennis is a powerful sport, but at the same time, it's also a sport that you can outlast your opponent. So the cardio, the stamina, just the willingness to stay out. There's no time in tennis, so it's not by time anything. So the willingness is a very mental sport. So the willingness to just stay there a little longer than your opponent, it can go a long way. So.
Well, to be able to isolate shot for shot, that quite frankly, it is just one shot at a time in this grand accumulation of things, and it doesn't care. Your next shot doesn't care how tired you are, doesn't care how tired they are. It's really not a thing. Coaches tend to recruit and coach and develop to their style of tennis play because it's what you know. For you, if I asked you to define a Husker women's tennis player, what are the characteristics and traits that jump out? You say, you know what? Here's what I have to have. I
think passion, effort. I think that you have to love just the grind. I think I tell my team every single day is that, hey, our foundation is based on our consistency, but at our toughness. It's like, don't look for the easy way out. Look for making things, being disciplined, consistent, playing with passion. I don't care sometimes, like your best tennis won't be there every day, but your effort, your attitude, your mindset of just like, hey, I'm going to get down and work. I think it has to be there. So we'll try to find players that have that. And then you can always improve some skills, improve technique, improve patience, or little things. But some of those things, the intangibles, they're hard to coach sometimes. You have to. Most athletes need to have them. They need to come in with a kind of grit, inside the blood. So it's hard to coach that, or hard to. I mean, you can work on it, but it's hard. It's not as easy as you have seen around all the sports too. So.
The fact that you use the word gritty, for tennis. It's implied, but to watch your players get through difficult moments, and a lot of it's the conversation that they have with themselves and with you, whether it be from a distance or in a whisper, right? That if there's 6 matches going on, you kind of have to identify who needs me most in that moment. How do you make that decision, right? 6 courts, that's a lot to cover, and a lot of different egos and esteem issues at the same time.
I think we take it day by day. Sometimes some players are more confident, and day by day. Sometimes it's like you play different matches, how they feel that day, and sometimes some really want the attention. They really want the detail. They want a lot of information. We try not to overwhelm them with too much information because you can only take so much, and if you give them too much, then they overthink, they overanalyze, and then they start making too many mistakes. So we try to keep it simple, but at the same time, give them feedback. Some want more feedback than others, and I kind of learn through everyday practice and sometimes matches who wants more and who wants less. And we try to, I think my job as a coach is try to, they need to adapt to me, my philosophy, the program, but I need to adapt just as much to them because they're all individual. They all play differently. They all think differently. They're all, so I can't put everybody under one umbrella and tell them, hey, you have to play this way, but maybe their skill sets are slightly different. So I need to adapt to them just as much. So I'm pretty adaptable for the most part to some things where, my job is to help them be the best they can be. So I can't just be all about just how we have some kind of like non-negotiables that we talk about, some non-negotiables, which is the effort, the attitude, having a good mindset, being competitive. We compete, but that's non-negotiable. But the rest is like how I coach 2 different athletes. It should be different because they like to be communicated differently. They have different skill sets, so try to communicate with them kind of based on what they need.
I'll ask you a question that does not have a right answer. So I'll preface it by saying it doesn't have a right answer. But being a male coach in a woman's sport at this level requires such finesse and such specific boundary, whether it be emotionally, whether it be academically, whether it be socially, how to handle social media now with that engagement and all the things. And now transfer portal, NIL, everybody's branding and trying to create those things. How do you handle that? What's your mantra for dealing with your young lady?
It's a tough balance. I think I have 3 kids. I have a daughter, 3 kids, and I will try to make it a family environment as well. But making sure that, I'm not a coach that cusses too much. I'm not a coach that.
Bless your heart.
try not to. They can be emotional. They can be very emotional, but I don't shy away from, hey, you can be emotional. The key is like, if you have a moment, it's like, okay, how can you come back and focus again and concentrate again on what you need to do, so that moment doesn't last as long. It's a thin balance, but we try to just be human, treat them with respect, treat them well, but we expect them, to work hard. We expect them to hustle. We expect them to just to do, kind of. So I don't think it matters as much, but we're always, respectful of the time, respectful of we try to communicate well. We try to let them know that we're here for them and we care about them, but we can also push them and try to help them be better.
As I look at your roster, it is an international roster for sure. And you're certainly put in a position where awareness, women's tennis, on a club level and on a national level brings you certain types of players and a certain level of player, but also you just recruited one of the best doubles players in the world, and to get them to come to Nebraska. What do you say to them about Lincoln, Nebraska that would make them want to come here?
I love Lincoln, so I will be happily sell Lincoln any day. I think it's not just that we offer all the resources that, sometimes a lot of tennis players, but sometimes, athletes in general, they choose a location or they choose a weather. And sometimes some of those schools, they have a name, but they might not even have all the resources we have. But until they see him, sometimes they can't even when they go somewhere else and they see the difference because you experience it day to day, I think it's just a matter of like, hey, we're a family environment. We try to sell them all the resources. They can win just as much here as they can at a UCLA or a USC, and I think they just take the location or the weather or the name, and then maybe they don't even have the same resources. So I think we tell them that we have the experience as coaches, that they can help them grow. We show some of the results, and we try to show the developmental part that, I'm huge in developmental. We try to help them develop, throughout the years. We try to, put emphasis on that and try to make them feel like this is like a second home for them. So they can come here and they can develop and they can accomplish just as many goals or more than if they go somewhere else. So the girl that we just committed, it is an international sport. Tennis is if not, it's probably one of the most global sports, and the talent in the Midwest is not that great. We don't have, right now, no one player in Nebraska, is ranked even in the top 300 in the country. So we have to spread out. We'll try to recruit American first, actually, and we go heavy there. And sometimes, with some choices tell us no, and then you go next and next and next, and then sometimes you have to spread your wins. So recruiting is challenging, but we'll try to, we have gone, to Asia, to Africa to recruit. We go to every tournament we can in the country. We're everywhere. And then, the goal is like, I know we'll break through here soon. So we'll try to get the best players that will fit, our philosophy, but also, the level that we can compete for championships here. So
is there a way you're the official women's tennis North Star for the state of Nebraska. And is there a way to help develop or at least enable Nebraska high school girls tennis players to get better so that they could have eyes towards Lincoln. They could have eyes towards being a doubles player at Nebraska or to improve the whole culture here in Nebraska. So for these young ladies to have a way to stay home and play tennis.
Yeah, I think that some of the coaches in the academies or even high schools here in the clubs, they do a really good job. Sometimes just maybe the amount of tennis players hitting, or playing, it's not as good as a Florida or a Texas or California, right?
Yeah.
Or some of the Northeast too. But I think some of them, maybe if they get really good younger, sometimes they move and they go to academies like an IMG or, like in Texas or California. So I think that's part of the issue. And then maybe some of the best athletes around this area, maybe they need to choose tennis. Who knows? Maybe they don't. Maybe they choose volleyball. They choose something else, right? So
yeah, all the 6-footers we know.
So we have some tall tennis players, and they're the best player in the world right now is 6 foot. In women's tennis. So it's like, I don't know what needs to happen. I think it's sometimes maybe they don't choose to maybe play tennis year round. Or maybe they choose to do a few other sports. Sometimes you go to Florida and these tennis players, they're 10, 12 and they play, 5 hours a day and they're traveling tournaments all over the country. Maybe here in the Midwest or especially here in Nebraska or Lincoln, we don't have that as much. And then we do have every now and then. So, the goal is, I would love to have more local talent and more. And then the coaches here in the clubs, they do a really good job. Sometimes, it's just a matter of like the amount of tennis that is here or how they develop or the tournaments. Sometimes there's not as many tournaments around the area too, so they have to travel farther than you would in other sports too. So it's definitely is more challenges here for sure.
If I asked, how many camps do you have? Do you do that?
Right now we have two,
right.
Yeah, right? We started last year with Pete. Peter. We started. Before they didn't really have many camps. So last year we did 2 weeks. Now we're gonna do 2 weeks again and see how it goes. Our goal is the same. We're trying to grow tennis just as much as the community is. See how we can intertwine it more from the community with the tennis teams. Peter's also doing a great job on the men's side too. So we're both trying to grow not only our programs, but also hopefully, a little more tennis in the community too.
Yeah. And I would think that is a big part of it. And I know that we have listeners who have, they have daughters who are playing tennis, who love it, but then it's just repetition and access. I coached in the Woodlands, Texas, Houston. And their facilities were high level and they could play outdoors for 11 months out of the year.
Yeah.
And it certainly shows. And I think that's a real thing. So your point to trying to recruit from Nebraska, but those folks are leaving to go places where if it means that much to them, where they can play 11 months out of the year.
Yeah, and then it's tough to get them back. We have a few, and then it's tougher. Sometimes they go for a year, and they're like, and then they go somewhere else. So it's tough. Hopefully, the goal is to recruit first. We'll recruit first. The Midwest and the best players around, and sometimes when they tell us no, or they maybe they don't have the level quite to play in the Big Ten, then we have to, see outside, go outside. So,
well, football has made this statement, recruiting within the 500 mile radius as a thing. Does that apply for women's tennis?
No, not really. I think it's more of the 5,000 mile.
Right. Like I
think we'll have to seek, it will be really, really difficult. And I think it's, I was looking at the recruiting classes from all the states next to us, and the next 2 years, there's 1 or 2 that can actually compete in the Big 12, Big 10, out of the whole Iowa, Missouri, Nebraska, so out of all that area, there's like 1 or 2 in 2 years.
Wow.
And, so it's like,
wow.
So it's, actually, so it's tough. So we'll have to branch out and then go other places, which is fine. But, we would love it if it was a little more local, a little more talent close by. I think it will, it will help more, and I think it will kind of even it will bring, I think, even more fans, close families and all that. We have families that travel a ton, to watch their players or
that part. Like I noticed there at the events, and this is why I want you to be a regular appearance on this station. Because when they find out who you are and who these young ladies are, they're going to fall all the way in love. Like to watch them play and to watch, the way they engage each other, the way they engage the fans, your post match with them giving access to the young girls who come to watch them play. It's an important thing. And absolutely. I think that you do it on purpose, but I'll ask you whether you do that on purpose.
We do. We work actually every day on the energy and interaction with each other. How we bring it up, the energy. Sometimes I'll say, hey, no matter how big our crowd is, I was like, you need to be your own kind of cheerleaders, so you need to bring it. You need to bring it every single day. So we actually work on that. And then, they love the more people that come watching because they work hard. And I think they have a good level and the level is high. And I think it's, you'd be surprised, I think, when you come watching that, it's fun. I think they make it fun. They compete hard. They play hard. I think if whoever comes watch it, I think you'll be proud to be like, hey, this is a Nebraska, sport, and I think that it's good. In tennis, it's a pretty community sport, right? It's a sport that you can play all your life, men, women, all young, and I think so. Anybody that comes watches, you can kind of relate to what they do within doubles and singles. And it's a sport that hopefully will get more people, watching, more support. But also, I think anything that we can help grow the sport, is a positive.
Yeah, I think I had a young lady who is a high school coach, and she says, well, do you think that they do lessons? Do you think that they would do something with us? I said, listen, if you reach out to Herman, I would imagine he would let you do a first serve if you brought your tennis team to watch them play. And it's free admission for the family. Yeah. Like the entire family can come watch these teams compete. And I think it's a big thing along the way.
No, it is. And we try to have some promotions, either free food or free stuff, we're just trying to bring more people to watch. It's it's free. We have great seating, whether it's inside or outside. We're trying to do more things. We do either first serve or, actually March 9th, we play Michigan State. It's the same day as men's basketball, but March 9th, we play at noon Michigan State. We're actually doing a military appreciation day. So we're going to recognize a family. We're going to try to promote, them and thank them for, for their service. The Big Ten, we actually opened Big Ten against Michigan, which are number 3 in the country right now. So we'll open with them next Friday at 5 p.m. So, yeah, no, it's exciting. I think the quality is a high quality. I think it's fun to watch them compete. And I think that, the goal is to put a good product out there. So
March 7th, Friday night, 5 o'clock against Michigan. There's several home meets that follow. Michigan State will come to Lincoln. Wisconsin will come to Lincoln. Minnesota comes to Lincoln. And USC and UCLA both come to Lincoln.
That's right. Yeah. And we have, out of all those, I think 4 of those are inside the top 20 right now. So so a lot of good tennis coming to Lincoln, and hopefully we can upset a few of them.
Well, I think the idea is that we're going to draw some Husker fans out there. We'll throw it to break. When we come back, I wanted to, we were asked on the text line about the foreign players, and we'll go up and down the roster just so we can kind of tell folks who these young ladies are, where they're from. And then we need you to tell your story, because your story is pretty interesting about your journey through this thing called tennis. Herman Dalmagro, women's tennis, Nebraska, joins us here one-on-one on The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Time for a new heating and cooling system? Get the options, brand, and efficiency that best fits your family and your home. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Allow me to get a bit sappy. For women, jewelry isn't just a gift. It's a timeless symbol of love and appreciation. You have to get this right. No fleeting trends or gadgets will make the impact. Every time she wears it, every time she gets a compliment, you win. Trust me, guys, you'll get your money worth. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Back to One-on-One with DP, sponsored by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Ramon Dalmagro from Nebraska women's tennis, the head coach, has joined us, and it has been informative, and we are fully appreciative of him making time. I'm going to ask him the thing that if folks are tennis players, tennis fans, and they want to support Nebraska women's tennis, how would you recommend they go about it?
Yeah, I mean, we they can support our NIL through 1890. We're kind of starting to use it for recruiting. We're right now it's kind of I want to say non-existent, yet, for women's tennis yet on the NIL front, but we're already kind of losing recruits because of it. So I think we can I would be very much appreciative if we can somehow start competing now for recruiting, on the NIL front. It's affecting tennis the last couple of years, and it's starting to make a big impact. So NIL through 1890. Our excellence fund is through the Nebraska fund, but right now I think we're trying to focus a lot on 1890, so we can hopefully help bring top talent here to Lincoln.
To say this, that it's an international sport, and that the players getting Big Ten caliber tennis players to Lincoln, Nebraska isn't easy, and especially in a world of NIL and transfer portal, you have opportunities, but your roster, I just want to go through Dominican Republic, Russia, Japan, Argentina, Italy, Bolivia. You're not grocery shopping locally. So it takes some money and resources to do this sort of thing. And then remember, these folks are getting worldwide attention as well. So to get folks to Lincoln, Nebraska requires some support and some effort. I think Husker Nation, knowing that that's the case, would step up.
Well, no, I appreciate it. It does take time and effort and resources to travel. The biggest thing sometimes for the top American players right now, I would say most of them they're getting money through NIL. I was actually talking on the portal even this past portal, and I tried to recruit the few that were in the portal. They were the top Americans, and they all needed money. They all wanted money, which is fine. I think they were worthy of it, and I think they got some, but we couldn't get any of them without that money. So we didn't have it at that time, and we're working on it, and I think some of them certainly deserve it. So I think it's that's our goal, is to hopefully grow that, and we can keep attracting that talent here.
Let's stun some people. Give me a range, a minimum for Big Ten talent, Big Ten caliber talent, somebody that will be in your top 6 players or a doubles player at the University of Nebraska. And you're not giving any specifics to anybody that currently is there, so that's not necessary. But if you're saying to folks, here's the range, right? We know in football, we know the range. Basketball, we know the range. I don't think we know the range in for men or women's tennis.
Yeah, I think it varies. But I would say, for what I hear, players are getting, between 25 to 40 to 50,000 a year per player. Some are getting more. Actually, one player was playing professional and decided to go to college, and I think she got paid $200,000 to go to ACC school. One of the top schools in the country.
Yeah.
One player got about $100,000 just to go one semester at a Big 12 school. She was a had one semester left eligibility, and she decided to say, well, I probably make more money on one semester in college that I could play in pro. Playing pro tennis is a tough world out there. In the lower end events, which are high level, but the pay is not that great. So, so sometimes some now with NIL, and if they're really, really good, they can make just as much money.
And you carry 8 players.
Right now we have 8. Our roster number, I think next fall is going to be at 10 based on that roster size, by the NCAA. So we'll be at the most at 10. Yeah.
So if we said, we did math and said, listen, Herman would like to have 10 players who at least could compete on the Big Ten level. We're not talking about crazy numbers. We're talking about $250,000.
Yeah, and that's for the
changes
whole roster.
Changes the whole program.
Oh, it changes absolutely the whole program. Sometimes some teams, they have their top 3 players make some money. The rest are on a scholarship, which is amazing already.
Right.
Which is great. So sometimes we're, I try, not to be too picky or too demanding on those things. But yeah, I would love to be somewhere in the park, or even get one player here,
that's
at that amount, so we're battling, on that front, and besides that, we're battling, with the location and weather too. But I mean, I came here because I love Lincoln. I think Nebraska is an amazing place. We love raising, my wife and kids here, and we love it here. And I think this is a place where I came because I know we can win and we can be successful. Obviously, the landscape has changed.
Yeah.
Which is in a fifth round is a little more challenging, but I'm up for any challenge, and I think the goal is to keep growing our sport, keep growing our team, and just to be the best we can be.
To say, and I want to bring in super producer Jake Bach over in for a second, because I want his take and opinion on this. But Bach, do those numbers surprise you? That if you said that you want to bring in 2 high caliber players, those players will probably cost you anywhere between $20,000 and $30,000 at least for a starter. But does that surprise you?
I'm not sure if I'd say surprised, but it is interesting to get to that number and kind of think about, okay, what are the across, different sports, what that number is, because it certainly is quite different than other sports. And certainly it's just the NIL world is so interesting altogether, just because, what might be available here might not be available there. So like you said, it's just kind of battling on a couple different fronts there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's there's some programs out there that are, given, 40,000 a semester an athlete, and they're top caliber. They're some of the best players, in the country. So it's not a thing here yet, but that's the goal, is to try to get there and compete, not only on the tennis court recruiting, but also on the NIL front, which is now affecting our sport pretty heavily. It started obviously with football and basketball and all those, but it's spreading, across a lot of sports. And I think tennis is one of them, and I think the goal is to, join and be competitive. I want to compete. I don't like being in this situation. I mean, so I want to be the best we can be. We have everything we need, now I think the missing part might be that just the NIL front.
You're currently, the program sits at 10-1, and as you head into the Big Ten conference play, right? How long is the season? How deep will the Big Ten season run? And is there a tournament that finishes the year?
Yes. We're about to start Big Ten. So we 10-1 non-conference. I think we did pretty much the best we could do. We lost to Baylor, which I run, I think, 14 in the country right now. And it was still, we were competitive. It was a close match. Now Big Ten, we played 13 matches in the Big Ten out of 18. We have 4 no plays, and it kind of rotates yearly. Every school in the Big Ten has women's tennis. And then, we play through the end of April. Big Ten Championship is the last weekend of April. This year, they changed the format a little bit. Used to be that every team will make it. This year, only 12 out of the 18 make it. So it's a little more challenging. And who your no plays are makes a big difference too. So our no plays this year is, it's not as even. We don't play actually a couple of teams that are towards the bottom. We play every team in the top, so that it's a little more challenging, but we're after the challenge. So yeah.
Tell me how that. Yeah, I heard a little something in the voice there.
Yeah, it is what it is. We just have to play the hand you dealt with. So each year it changes, and we don't complain about it. We don't dwell too much on it. We just have to play whoever is in front of us and do the best we can be.
Walk me through this journey that's been your tennis life. When did you determine? First of all, tell folks where home is, and then when you found out or how you found out that this tennis thing is going to carry me through my life.
Yeah, I was born in Cordoba, Argentina. Born and raised there. My dad's actually played tennis. He played competitively, and then I grew up there playing there, and I think I played a little professional. Tried to play that. College wasn't in my mind at that time, and then I got injured, and then I had some friends that went to college, and they advised me to kind of go, and I try, and I came here. I played 4 years of college. I had a good career, and I kind of make me fall in love with the college format. Tennis is such an individual sport that you grow up, everything you do is all about yourself, because it's an individual sport. So you have to take care of yourself. You have to, pretty much everything's about yourself. So changing that mindset to kind of being a team. I loved it. I love being a part of a team. I love competing with my teammates and it became in a bigger purpose, just not just me, just playing for your school, playing for each other. And I think that's kind of why I love the college format. And then, after that, I just graduated, and then I started, I was going to go into the real world, business world. And then I kind of like, well, you know what? I was doing well, and I was like, I've been part of the tennis all my life. So I was like, why not stick with it? So I started being an assistant coach, and now I've been, Division I assistant coach, associate, and head coach now for 16 years, and been in the U.S. longer than I've been back home. So I'm more of a, been here for over 22 years now. So, I love it here, and I think I love what college tennis brings to our sport, and I think it's such a unique opportunity for players to develop. Not only personally, but also as a team, as a growing as a player, how to develop in college. You develop a lot, not just being out there by yourself, playing, traveling. You can get lonely. It's expensive. You have to deal with a lot of ups and downs, and I think college just brings, in most of them, it brings the best of them, and I think it helps them grow, helps them be very supportive. So. That's the environment we try to create here, but also I think I can tell, players, I talk to former players, and I think they all have the same kind of like, hey, I love playing for a team. I love how I grew as a person, and who they are today. So
it's always fascinating that players who become coaches always have a coach. That's kind of the North Star for, what? I could do this. I want to do that. I want to do that for people. Who was that for you?
I think growing up, my dad. My dad was my coach. He's still a coach. He actually was here visiting. He's still visiting these last few weeks here, and somebody I can just talk to, about tennis, but in general. And then I have my former college coach, which I consider a friend today. So we still talk all the time. And I always ask, a few of them for advice or decisions I make. Before I relate those decisions, I kind of like, hey, is this the right thing to do or no?
Right.
So yeah, I have those people, but I would say mostly my dad. I kind of learned most of what I know about tennis from him. But then I have a few other coaches that kind of help me see sometimes different points of view or different things about the sport. So, yeah.
We're going to go to break. We have a caller that wants to get on. We'll take that call when we come back from the break, and then I'll ask Coach to go up and down this roster a bit to let folks know who they will be coming to see. Again, March 7th against Michigan. We want to pack Dillon. And I think that would be kind of the purpose, to let them know who they're coming to see. It's gonna be a fun final segment here on One-on-One.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, seemingly sunny skies. It will be windy. It's an afternoon high near 59. Tonight, clear skies with a light breeze, and a low around 35. And tomorrow, we'll see lots of sunshine with a light breeze, an afternoon high near 60. I'm meteorologist Kyle Bucket from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Attention comedy fans, get ready for a night of non-stop laughs at the brand new Howler House Comedy Club. Brought to you by the team behind Kincaidor Brewing, Sideshow Spirits, and Beer House. This underground comedy experience is happening beneath Beer House in the heart of the Haymarket. Enjoy Jason Vest and Layla Ingalls from The Kill Tony Show, as well as Will C this Friday. Shows are at 6:30 and 9 p.m. Buy your tickets today at beerhousene.com for the brand new Howler House Comedy Club, opening this Friday at 8th and P.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And free fitness training to help you mix up your routine. Plus, most clubs are open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends February 28th. See Home Club for details.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Nottingham Forest plays Man City at 6:30 a.m. followed by Crystal Palace versus Ipswich Town at 9 a.m. To cap off the Saturday action, Wolves plays Everton at 2 p.m. On Sunday, Tottenham plays Bournemouth at 9 a.m., followed by Man United versus Arsenal at 11:30 a.m. You can find all this and more at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket, your place for English Premier League soccer, located at 8th and P.
You're listening to One on One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final segment. I want to thank head coach Nebraska women's tennis Herman Dalmagro for enlightening us, man. It's been chock full of information because, again, access is important. Bach, we have a caller. Can you take us? Who do we have, Bach?
Yeah, we have Mark on the line. Mark, how's it going?
This is Mike.
Oh, Mike, okay.
What's your question, Mike?
Coach? Yeah, hey, Coach, I hope you guys didn't talk about this because I was on radio silence on hold. But you have your number 2 through 5 players are all sophomores. So on the surface of it, I would, you'd think, well, boy, you're set for the next 2 years after this year for the basis of or more than a foundation for a great team. But with the advent of the transfer portal and NIL, would this be a mischaracterization to say that maybe your biggest job is re-recruiting your team every year to make sure that they stay on campus? Or is that not accurate? Thanks a lot, Coach.
Yeah, no, thank you, Mike. Thanks for the call and thanks for the support and listening. Yeah, it is. Yeah, we do have 5 sophomores. It just kind of worked out that way. We go one couple to the portal, one came in losing a year of college because she was studying back home and playing there. So it's kind of like it worked out that way. I think it's for now on. I think our job basically will be retaining, what we have and recruiting. So sometimes, I would like to say that we will retain everybody is here, but you never know, each year. But yeah, I think it's in a couple of years. Hopefully, we'll have a good foundation where. Given our number one, number one is playing 1 this year, and last year she played 5 and 6, so she developed a lot. And I feel like she's grown a lot. So I'd like to say that hopefully everybody is in that boat moving forward. So hopefully we'll have a good foundation moving forward. But yeah, it will be, I think if for now on moving forward, I think it's hard to predict every year. I think every roster, every player will be kind of in a unique situation at the end of the year. With the NIL, with the transfer portal, now it's very easy to go somewhere else. So, yeah, I think it will be kind of, I guess, my job to at the end of the year to make sure they're in the right mindset or the right place where they keep they're happy here and that they keep developing and they keep kind of achieving what they came here for. So yeah.
Let's talk about the sophomore class because you've got 6 sophomores on this
5,
run.
I think, right?
5 sophomores.
Yeah.
1 senior. Let's talk about the sophomores first, though. Give a elevated pitch on your sophomores.
Yeah. We have I guess Emma Riceros is from Spain, from Italy. Sorry. She's strong. She's plays with a lot of passion. Moves the ball around the court really well. Competes extremely well. Pretty head on her shoulders. I think she's pretty level.
And I'm a fan of hers. I'm not supposed to have favorites, but she also went to my alma mater at VCU. I followed her, and I was thrilled when she showed up in Lincoln.
Yeah. We were very thrilled to. She had a lot of offers out there when she got on the portal, so we were very fortunate to get her. And Tiziana from Argentina. She's also actually came from VCU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's she's doing great, and I think she's playing good tennis, and I think her best tennis is actually ahead of her. So and then speaking of the VCU, I think Tiziana, I think from Argentina, I kind of recruited her a little bit through high school. So I knew her some. So she went there, and I think she had a great year. She was a freshman of the year in the conference last year. She's doing well here, and she's another one very competitive, plays with a lot of passion. Brings you always know that no matter where she's at on the court, you can hear her and she's going to compete, which is kind of couple of things I love, So then another is Rhea. We have Rhea as well, and she's another one that she's from Texas and competes well. She loves matches. She's one of those. She just wants to outlast her opponent anytime she steps on the court, which another thing I love as well. Is being able to be gritty, tough, and I think it's sometimes even she even recognizes that she can make things easier on her, but she's like, if I need to stay here long enough, I will. So
is that the ACC grind for her, having competed at NC State and getting that?
Yeah, she was only there for half semester,
right?
She wasn't even for a whole year, and then she transferred mid-year and came in, had to sit that semester last year, so she kind of just practiced, and it was great to have her on that because work on a few things that kind of she needed to work on, and I think she's much better and stronger now. So she's been great. She's very competitive. She's plays with a lot of passion as well. So she's been great. Who's our Masha Maria? She's another sophomore. She the same. Last year she's playing 6-7 in the lineup and in and out, and as a freshman. And this year she's kind of solidified, kind of in the middle of the lineup, and she's playing great tennis. She's also just another one that kind of likes to be consistent, likes to just kind of be out there competing, and she's developing. She's playing well. One thing we kind of work with her is trying to keep bringing that passion and energy, to the core. She likes to kind of be quiet but competitive, which is good too, But she's great and she's been working hard.
Coach, it has been an exceptional hour, and I want to thank you again for coming on and informing and sharing these young folks into the program. March 7th, Michigan,
That's
Dillon
right.
Center.
5
Free
p.m.
admission?
Free admission. Hopefully some promotions out there as well. But great tennis. Michigan is number 3 in the country right now, so we'd love to get as many Husker fans supporting our team and see what we can do. Sunday at noon against Michigan State, another great team, competitive. So, we love to support. Thank you for having me. Thank you for helping keep promoting our sport, and I'll be happy to talk anytime. Women's tennis. Yeah.
Open invitation, Coach.
Well, thank you for having me.
Go Big Red. Don't go anywhere. Captain Show coming up on the ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7